Joint forces will use all tools available to restore public order and the rule of law under these powers.
National security, more to the point, arresting crime, is our focus on Jamaica Magazine today. I'm Kerry-Ann Smith. Welcome to the show. Please do not change the channel because you'll want to see all the angles of government's various interventions to restore peace for Jamaicans wherever they reside. The latest in news is first, and then watch and see.
Mommy,
Yes, sweetie?
how can I change my world?
You can change your world.
By being polite.
Good morning.
Good morning. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Miss.
With just one action.
We can change the world with acts of random kindness.
Stay kind, act kind, be kind.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, March 20. As the government continues to put measures in place to deal with crime, the Ministry of National Security is reporting the apprehension of 21 of the island's most wanted persons. They have been captured under the Fugitive Apprehension Program with help from the public through Crime Stop. Acknowledging the success of the program, Portfolio Minister Robert Montego is urging residents to continue providing information to the police.
The good people of Jamaica must unite, and we must not leave space for the criminals to operate. By our silence, we allow criminals to operate.
The Fugitive Apprehension Program provides a reward of $1 million to individuals who supply information that leads to the capture of wanted persons. Minister Montego was in Spanish Town recently for the opening of the Green Acres Police Post. And with the implementation of a state of emergency in the St. Catherine North Police Division, further appeal is being made for citizens to report criminal activities. Calls can be made to the Jamaica Defence Force tip line 837-8888.
The hotline is manned on a 24-hour basis and offers convenience and confidentiality, and we anticipate that its success in St. James will be replicated in St. Catherine.
The JDF's Chief of Defence Staff was speaking at a press briefing on Sunday. He said the security forces would be publishing photos, bulletins, social media images and data about gang members and other criminals to help persons identify and report them. Meanwhile, Major General Rocky Meade is urging citizens to take note of the boundaries for the enhanced security measures in the St. Catherine North Police Division. The northern markers include the intersections of St. Anne, Clarendon and St. Catherine parish boundaries.
Running east towards Garfield Road, to the north-south highway, Monique Leg, then to Guys Square and to Sethfield.
The southern boundaries will run along the Heartland Main Road to Hill Run Main Road. Eastern boundaries will run south to Sligoville. At the intersection of Highway 2000, Lakespen Road, Port Henderson Road, Salt Pond Road and the Hill Run Main Road. Meanwhile, parish boundaries on the west will run south to Ginger Ridge, Blue Hole, Marley Hill, Dover Road, intersection of PJ Patterson Highway and the Heartland Main Road.
And let me reiterate the importance of community support during the enhanced security measures as we strive to reduce incidents of murders, shootings, re-establish the security of our citizens in St. Catherine North and restore confidence in our state apparatus.
In other security news, ground was broken on Friday for the construction of a police station in Buff Bay, Portland. The National Housing Trust, NHT, will fund the project at a cost of $50 million. It's to be completed by November next year. National Security Minister Robert Montego says the project is in keeping with the Prime Minister's charge to the NHT to ensure police stations are within 10 miles of housing schemes developed by the entity.
NHT has undertaken to construct, repair or refurbish 100 police stations across the length and breadth of Jamaica. They're going to be spending from between 20 million to a maximum of 60 million on each facility.
And finally, work has begun on a $550 million project that will enhance Falmouth's tourism draw. Ground was broken for the Hamden Wharf Development Project on Friday. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says these kinds of investment in the infrastructure will contribute greatly to the sustainability of the sector.
The process will enable us to get the result that we want for the town as a whole, but most importantly, to build out the capacity to deliver quality products, to ensure that the cultural assets of Falmouth and its neighboring areas are properly showcased, and that the returns from the creativity of the people of this area is of such that it enables prosperity in the long run.
The Hamden Wharf development is expected to create jobs, generate income, and raise living standards, all good things for the local economy and residents. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
Residents in some areas of St. Catherine woke up Sunday morning to an increased presence of security personnel in their communities. It was the start of an operation to root out criminal elements and restore order. Already, the results have been promising, with several arrests made, and the feedback has been positive, with individuals and businesses welcoming the intervention. In a little while, the Prime Minister will lay out what's involved. But first, this kind of strategy is being employed in other parts of the country. Let's see how that's been progressing.
Despite success in the Get the Guns campaign, the deadly weapon continues to be featured in the country's murder rate. In 2017, more than 1,600 persons were killed from over 1,400 shooting incidents. And, with the trend continuing in the first month of 2018, government has taken a firm approach to not only catch the perpetrators, but to curtail criminal activities for posterity.
We have reached the point where we are now prepared to take those firm and resolute measures to ensure that the crime monster does not destabilize the promising future that is in store for Jamaica.
Following this statement, Prime Minister Andrew Holness on January 18 announced a state of public emergency for St. James to deal with the spate of murders being committed in that parish. The order was gazetted by the Governor General.
Beyond giving the security forces additional powers of search, detention, and seizure, a great part of these regulations is aimed at protecting and preserving public safety.
The regulations were tabled in Parliament on January 23, paving the way for the establishment of an Emergency Powers Review Tribunal. This body will deal with any issues arising from the security forces' operations under the state of public emergency in St. James. The three-member team will adjudicate appeals brought by or on behalf of persons detained under the powers granted to the security forces. Representation is also being provided through the Legal Aid Council.
We must fulfill our duty to protecting human rights and maintain a certain level of dignity, particularly for those that have been detained.
Since then, a number of persons have been detained. Among them are men wanted for serious crimes and some who are strongly believed to be connected to gangs in St. James. Firearms and ammunition have also been seized during the operations.
The security operations, which are in their very early stages, are going very well. We asked for and are getting unprecedented support from the public. We ask that members of the public continue to flood us with information. Tell us where the guns are. Tell us where the gunmen are. Tell us where the lot of scammers are.
The National Security Minister says dragnet operations are being carried out across the island in support of the state of public emergency declared in St. James. These are geared at capturing wanted men fleeing that parish. Strategic operations have been launched in St. Anne, St. Mary, Westmoreland and St. Catherine.
Divisions within Area 5 conducted a 24-hour blitz which saw increased visibility and intensified operational activities to include VCPs, raids, searches and visits to persons on curfew orders. 18 persons were detained in St. Catherine North and 1 in St. Catherine South as a result of these operations. Portmore St. Catherine has been identified as a likely area where displaced criminals may be housed. As such, a joint team from CTOC and the Fugitive Apprehension Team, Mobile Reserve, have conducted targeted raids on several premises.
The decisive crime-fighting measure will also be strengthened with the fast-tracking of key pieces of legislation. Debate on the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency MOCA bill began in the lower house on January 30. The Security Minister says a revised Firearm Act will be tabled in the next 3 months.
The amended legislation will feature new penalties and harsher mandatory minimum sentences. This is the way to go, considering that the gun features in over 80% of all crimes in Jamaica.
There is also a commitment to the completion of amendments to the Fingerprint Act within 8 months, and for the Anti-Gang and Proceeds of Crime Acts in 10 months. Corrupt cops will not be spared as government intensifies its crime-fighting measures. Among the measures being organized is an early retirement scheme, which will be implemented as an exit measure.
The new policy is with the Commissioner. He fully understands the issue of corruption and the overall impact that it has on the reputation of the organization, and has committed to begin the utilization of that important tool to hasten the transition of members of the force at all levels who are tainted by corruption or otherwise ineffective.
The matter of corruption is also being tackled across all public bodies and the wider Jamaica. As the Prime Minister points out, this is a feeder for criminal activities.
And so the state of emergency is not just targeted to the person pulling the trigger. It is targeted to every single player who forms a node in this network of criminal enterprise that is now a growing and thriving ecosystem, and we must destroy it.
And so, the state of public emergency is targeted to
reduced, contained the murder rate, disrupted and uprooted the criminal networks, and have protected and secured the life and treasure of the people of St. James,
while providing the space for other sustainable interventions.
A state of public emergency has been declared in the St. Catherine North Police Division, effective Sunday, March 18th. These enhanced security measures through the Emergency Powers Act will last initially for 14 days. Under the enhanced security measures, the security forces will have extraordinary powers and some rights will be suspended.
The joint forces will use all tools available to restore public order and the rule of law under these powers.
The security forces will have the powers to search, curtail operating hours of businesses, access to places, and to detain persons without a warrant. All persons using all roadways leading into and out of the St. Catherine North area will be subject to vehicle and personal search.
Let me reiterate the importance of community support during the enhanced security measures as we strive to reduce incidents of murders, shootings, re-establish the security of our citizens in St. Catherine North, and restore confidence in our state apparatus.
The security forces are expected and have been directed to treat citizens with respect and to protect the dignity and safety of all Jamaicans.
Crime takes many forms, and while murder may command more of the national consciousness, the government is seized of the need to tackle all tenets of this monster. Up next, we review an intervention to help prevent one manifestation of crime: human trafficking.
Trafficking in persons is a serious matter. It is perhaps a larger problem than many people understand, and health plays an important role because oftentimes these persons may present at health facilities because of any crisis that may arise, any health crisis that may arise while they are here in Jamaica or while they are held in these kinds of circumstances. And so it's very important that our healthcare workers engage in primary care, emergency care, mental health, pediatrics, and so on, are positioned to identify such persons. The development of the management of suspected victims of trafficking in persons protocol for health workers is therefore a step in the right direction, which is designed to be used as a guide and contains pertinent information concerning the identification and protection of victims. And it provides guidelines relating to the stabilization of patients, importance of confidentiality, requisite documentation, consent, and referral of suspected victims. So I want to congratulate the Task Force Against Trafficking in Jamaica for the completion of this document, and of course to recognize the work and the support of the Ministry of Justice and the Ministry of National Security in this important document. And that as many as 88% of sex trafficking victims may end up at our health institutions. But I understand that only a small percentage of our healthcare workers are confident and have some degree of knowledge with respect to identifying a trafficked person. So we need to look at how we get this training done. We have to break this cycle of violence. Clearly the health sector has a very important role to play in this regard. Training has been done in the past, but we do have turnover of staff. And so it's very useful that there is the training plan, which would include training of some 500 health workers starting in 2018. And the training will include a wide cross-section of healthcare workers, both in the public and the private health sectors.
Violence against women and girls is a human problem, not just a woman's problem. It's a problem for men too. Gender violence takes many forms, including sexual assault, domestic violence, relationship abuse, sexual harassment, and sexual abuse of children. The magnitude of ongoing violence against women and children in our country is cause for alarm. We can end the violence It requires all of us to end the violence. I call on all our men and women in Jamaica to take a stand. And men, especially, must get involved in this movement to create a better world for their daughters, their mothers, their sisters, their aunts, their uncles, their fathers, their sons, and for themselves. Let's protect and reassure. Let's unite to end gender violence.
I'm sure you'll all agree that all we've covered so far in the magazine is critical information to have, but we know it's a bit heavy. So let's shift focus now, because for peace to bloom in Jamaica, our softer engagements have to be encouraged. I'm talking about culture, sports, and yes, gender relations. Take a look.
Progress is impossible without real and sustainable change.
Real and sustainable change in the realms of culture, gender, entertainment, and sport comes with a bill of more than $3 billion in financial year 2018-2019. The ministry is determined to make every dollar count. The minister has said it.
2018, ladies and gentlemen, is a special year.
It's the year when her ministry will do more to enable a business environment for creative practitioners and continue the development of the national culture policy.
And we have a whole lot of wonderful heritage, songs and stories and proverbs.
Critical culture and heritage agencies will be financed to keep our museums open, restore select national monuments, and rehabilitate the country's heritage sites.
And we are on a schedule to ensure that all these sites are maintained, that they are open to access for people.
Access to public libraries is also assured through a $289.68 million allocation to the National Library of Jamaica, and $14 million is budgeted for the work of the National Council on Reparations. Jamaica is rich with indigenous flora and fauna that are as much a part of our heritage as any great house or monument. With support from the European Union, a special project will continue work to, among other things, launch an online image database for plants, animals, and ecosystems from Jamaica.
Men and women have to work together as equal partners.
While achieving gender equality is priceless, getting there requires strong capital input. This year, $293.9 million will allow the Bureau of Gender Affairs, Women's Center of Jamaica, and other agencies to do the necessary policy and outreach intervention to place women and men on a level playing field. Another special allocation of $19 million is booked to construct the Santa Cruz Outreach Center, increasing the number of teen mothers from that parish who are reintegrated into the formal school system. Jamaica's presence in the international sporting arena commands world regard. Government is spending more than $900 million in the new financial year to maintain and even enhance this. Much of the money will target clubs and other community sporting programs.
Because it is this kind of foundation that will put us in good stead to consistently perform well at the regional and international levels.
Upgrading and maintenance will continue at Independence Park Limited and the Trelawney Stadium, while the Institute of Sports and the Sports Development Foundation will get operational support. The ministry is also determined that Jamaican sport will be clean. And for the athletes who put in the hard work, resources are allocated to provide insurance coverage. Fiscal year 2018-2019, financing real and sustainable change in culture, gender, entertainment, and sport.
Sometimes I wish that I could make you understand the pain I feel. Scars that never seem to heal. Sometimes I wish that we
multi-skilled person. I love to explore, and I love to pull and fix. I'm curious about life and what it's worth.
I'm a part of the Special Olympics team for Westmoreland.
I'm also a Special Olympian. I'm proud to be one.
I have a lot of medals, but the bad thing about it is not a lot of gold, but it's medals.
As the first race I won, I came dead last.
A guy run left me, and this year I went back to Kingston, and I make up my mind and say, you know what?
I don't make no Kenyan person run left me again.
Because guess what? I want it 1 out of 1. I don't want to be 2-0.
So I take it, and for the whole week, I train until that the race will come. I'm going to win it by far.
And accomplish, will achieve.
The experience was nice. I learned some new things. And every time I can take shortcuts in our work.
Thank you for the National Youth Service. I think God put it on this earth, really, for people with disability. It is a great program, a wonderful program. It helped me to realize a lot of things in this world, so I can think about other things and go at them. Not just sit at home and playing games, watching TV, because I know that won't help me.
We have been privileged to go through this experience with all of these young persons. It has been both a learning experience for us, the staff at the NYS, as well as the young persons. We saw the young persons developing their own personal and professional skills. If you or someone you know has an intellectual disability, you can refer them to the National Youth Service, where our program fully caters to their personal and professional needs, where we will be sure to assist them in transitioning into the world of work.
The National Youth Service, empowering Jamaica's young people.
We're out of time. Here's to hoping you found today's offering informative and engaging. We here at the JIS are happy for your viewership, and if you want to see more, just head online to our website and the YouTube channel, and continue to let your voices be heard. We're on social media, and our inbox is not too full for your emails. I'm Carrie-Ann Smith. Until next we meet, peace well.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.